Which is more damaging? Ghosting the person or letting them know, hey, listen, you're just not what I'm looking for right now?
Letting them know. So you really done. Like, really.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all feel? Man, you tuned into another great episode of the Male Translations Podcast, where we break down the difference of what men say and women hear, give men a voice, give women insight on relationships, the men's voice when it comes to relationships. I'm your host, Mr. Male Translations, Clarence Brown, certified life coach, relationship coach, and I'm here with a good friend of mine, a good guest, Natalie Freeman. She is the host of the Successful but Single podcast. They doing their thing without a ring. Natalie Freeman, say what's up to the people, man. What's happening?
Hey, y'all. Hey. Y'all, this is like my dream, right? I watch this show every week, so to be sitting in this chair is quite an honor, y'all. So thank you for having me, Clarence Brown. Thank you, Pastor Doge, for not being here tonight, because that's the only way I would have been here. No, just kidding. But I'm just super excited to be here. Happy to help. Happy to talk to the people.
Right. So, you know, you've been showing a lot of love and support and being a podcaster as well, a black podcaster. You know, we got to stick together. And we definitely,
Absolutely.
you know, I heard this in the Mobb Deep song back in the day, love, love, redeem. So that means you show love, you get love. And so with what we have with the Male Translations Podcast, especially tonight with the topic of, what is the topic? The topic is, look, got me messed up. The topic is why women meet a man's representative. Excuse me. So all these things in my mind. But the thing is that, you know, like when you have your podcast, Successful but Single, and have, you know, a lot of women that support that, but also are just trying to find their way and trying to find a love that they can respect, somebody that they can honor, and just have that true companionship without the fluff, without the extra stuff. You know, it's tough. And I wanted to have you on here because, you know, you invited me on your platform and you allowed me to speak and be a guest on your platform and speaking in a all-male panel and just kind of discussing some of the things that men say but women don't hear.
Right.
You know, I wanted to also come back and double back and have a conversation that pertains to the single folks and really kind of, you know, highlight some of the things that happens within the dating space, especially between men and women, right? So definitely having you on is an honor and a blessing for me as well. So y'all, I'm glad y'all tuned in. I know we're a little bit late tonight, but what I need y'all to do before we get right on into it is hit that share button, hit that like button, hit that like button, and then hit that share button, right? So anyone you want to either hit the share button, then the like button, or you want to hit the like button, then the share button. It's up to you, but we need your support.
Yes.
Anytime you show love, it broadens the reach of the show. So if you guys are out there and you're ready to get on into the topic of why women meet a man's representative, what I need you to do right now is hit that share button and hit that like button, or hit that like button, hit that share button. So every week, man, y'all showing love. Make sure y'all stop by Relationship Healing. I got my little sign here today. We're going to be writing on this, you know, whenever Natalie feel a certain type of way, she can put that on the whiteboard. This is a little something I just put together. Make sure y'all go by and get that merch, okay? You got the melanated and loving shirts. I just got them in a few more colors, blue, a gold, a white, a yellow. So, you know, we're trying to expand things, and so I need y'all love and support with that as well. So if it's something that you want to, you know, express yourself through your attire, you can do that through the T-shirts. Also have some other things on there as well, my online course as well as my book. Come and talk to me, the Women's Guide to Why Men Don't Communicate. So within this discussion, Natalie, when we're talking about why women meet a man's representative, I have a few things that I had wrote in my book, especially, you know, pertaining to this topic that I'm going to touch on and I'm going to ask you about. We're going to talk about that. And for those of you who haven't gotten a book, you can be able to hear in real time some of the things that's in the book to kind of get an idea of if there's some real stuff in there, some good things for you or not. We're gonna touch on that, right? So, the topic again is why women meet a man's representative, right? Now, here's the thing. We all have representatives, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Right? Both men and women. We all put up a you know, baby front.
That's
you know, a little bit of a front when we meet somebody.
Best foot forward.
Right. And with that being said, I think that sometimes when men get looked at in the dating space, it's almost as if there isn't the same thing going on with women. And so sometimes I have a little beef with that. You know what I mean? I eat my wop on that because I'm saying to myself, hey, you know, the same thing happens and vice versa, which oftentimes is the reason why sometimes we can't get away from the arguments we have in relationships, because we seem to do the same things to each other, although when it comes down to it, we point the finger. So I want to get the topic started. Before we do that, I'm going to make sure I'm going to spread this all around. I got to make sure I
And y'all
share this
know,
with my
just
people.
know that it's going to be in the Successful But Single podcast group as well. Clarence is going to get that shared out there so you can watch the live or the replay there. So make sure you go there. We're going to have that for you as well.
Most definitely. We get into it right now. So like I said, if we can get y'all to share, that'll be great. But if not, I'm going to share. Y'all going to see it either way.
I know that's right.
Listen, I'm going to make sure I tag you, spam you. I'm going to make sure, you know, put it in every group that you in. No, I'm just kidding. But
we're going to get it out there for sure.
Most definitely. So the thing about it is, I always feel like you can use the eraser if you want to. The thing about it is, like I said, now share. Absolutely. Share. You can circle that. For real. Because again, ladies, I know y'all always ask, hey, why is it that we meet a man's representative? Why can't we find a guy that's genuine? Why is it that all these men be faking, fronting, thinking that they can show some money, thinking that all of this, right? And as men, we asking ourselves, hey, listen, first of all, it's an extreme amount of pressure nowadays in society that women, I don't think y'all are aware of.
Okay.
I don't think that y'all are actually aware of what a man goes through when it comes to just trying to find his way in the dating space and communication and show and prove and trying to meet a standard and expectations and, you know, do I have
that a lot, Clarence?
I'm saying.
I mean, is it true though?
It is true.
Okay.
Here go the thing. The word that
it's pressure for women too, y'all.
see, but that is see. No. Hold on. I'm not saying that it's not right, but here go the thing.
All right.
I
We're
was
gonna talk
talking
about both sides tonight, y'all.
True indeed. Now
Now
I was talking to my wife. I said, hey, listen. Every time when I bring up something or I say, hey, I do this or, you know, I did this, it's always met with a comparison.
Absolutely.
It's always met with, well, I do this too now.
Right.
And I'm saying to myself, hey, just by me saying something is not to question what you're doing or say that it's not valid or you're not doing anything. But why is it that because I say, like example in here, this example when I say, hey, we as men, y'all don't understand some of the pressures that we go through in the dating space. Now, even though you do have pressures as women as well, if I as a man hear you say that, I personally am in a space mature-wise, I can say, okay, you're right. Even if I know there are things we go through that I can speak to as well, I can hold that back and still be able to acknowledge the fact that what you're saying is true. But I think especially when it comes to discussions about relationships, everything met with comparison. That's why everybody pointing fingers.
That's kind of why we never get somewhere.
Exactly. And it's almost like, you know, you have to, somebody seems to have to either have the leverage or the win in terms of, okay, but y'all do this, so that trumps everything in order for the other side to feel like, all right, you got me. And so this is why these conversations are much needed, because if not, listen, you know, we're going to always point the finger and that ain't going to get us nowhere. So I want to kind of talk about, like I said, some of that stuff that happens in the early dating stage. And so what I want to ask this question, Natalie.
Because a single's trying not to be single for long.
Right. He's successful but single, right? But at the same time, you know, you're doing your thing without a ring with the intent to still find somebody. It's not to say... Right. Sometimes I know I hear women that, you know, have titles with single in it. It's almost like, hey, well, this is where it's at and we want to stay here. So I admire the fact that even though you acknowledge where you are, you're still saying, hey, we willing to work for or we willing to work with you if y'all give us something to respect. So here's the thing. Okay. So the first question, y'all already know. I already have my questions lined up for these topics. We're going to build from a foundation. That's how we do right now. We're going to go wherever it's going to go, but we're going to build from this foundation. And the question I want to ask right off the bat is, who has more to prove in your opinion? Let me get my whiteboard. Hold on.
All right.
Because see, I already know I need to erase this. I already know where you probably going. And guys, interact with us as well. Y'all already know anything I'm asking Natalie and anything I'm asking tonight is a question for you as well, because these conversations are much needed and we need the differences in opinion. So if you have a different opinion from what we may speak or how you feel, we need to hear about it so we can spread how you feel as well, spread that message, and also be enlightened ourselves. The more the merrier. So who has more to prove, okay, in the beginning of a relationship, Natalie?
Okay,
Right?
so
What? I ain't gonna. What's your answer?
okay, y'all, what y'all think I'm gonna say?
What
While
y'all
I'm
think she gonna
writing
say?
My answer.
You writing for a long time, so I already know what it is now.
You don't know. You don't know.
Because men is a 3-letter word.
See, I thought about it a little bit. And
Okay.
I hope y'all can read this, my little chicken scratch. But I said men do have more to prove. I agree.
Men have more to prove,
But women have more to lose.
That's a what?
See? Come
Okay,
on now.
go
See, no,
ahead.
Come on, we got to talk about it tonight.
Let's talk about it.
Because I do agree with you. You know, I was just kind of yanking your chain a little earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand the pressures that women bring to the table for men to come in a certain package. Because you know women, you know how we do. We come
Right.
with a list.
Facts.
We come with expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're unrealistic, they are still true to us. So it's true, right? Can I get an amen? Come on now. And so and I know it's hard. Because one thing I've learned, y'all, about doing this podcast, I have interviewed, you know, maybe not on the podcast that you've heard, but behind the scenes, I do podcast polls. So I talk to men all the time. They say, y'all just don't understand the pressure. First of all, it's hard to approach a woman in general in 2021.
Fact.
It's hard. Even though they got a large pool of women to work with, it's still hard for them to approach us. They feel like they have to have everything together. They know we already going to be looking for a certain level of income, right? A certain stature, certain character. So they have to come with it.
Right. Speak on it.
And so I acknowledge that. Women and men. I acknowledge that.
Okay.
Men do have a lot to prove because, especially a woman like me, I feel like I have standards and I want you to meet, at least come with a certain level of standards. But I feel like, you know, we got to have the but. You know, it's not a comparison. It's a contrast.
Right.
But women, I feel like, have more to lose because we get into the guy. You know, we bring our representative, and that representative wants to be so loving and caring, and we think he's all in until he goes and talks to them other 10 chicks that he's dealing with as well, and then he gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I do agree that men do have more to prove. I do. But women.
Okay. Now see.
I think women have a lot more to lose in the beginning.
Okay. Now, so again, guys, if y'all just clicking on Natalie, host of the Successful with Single podcast, doing the thing without a ring. Make sure y'all check her out on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Tidal. You know that's the Jay-Z thing. But so I wanted to make sure
we out there, y'all. Check us out.
Facts. I wanted to make sure that we was able to get your opinion. So she says the question was, who has more to prove in the beginning of a relationship? Natalie says men have more to prove. That is an M. You know, that may look like a W upside down.
I was getting excited.
But women have more to lose. All right, so
All right, I'll share.
let me just.
Y'all, he erasing my women have more to lose.
Whew,
you know.
man.
No, he erasing it all.
You just gotta. My arm. Yeah.
Yeah, you gave the wrong one to dry erase. I'm about to try to draw. Write a book on this.
Lies. You hear me? Lies, everybody.
Come on now. Come on, coach. Come on, coach.
So, no, I was just having a good time.
Explain
So here's the thing, right? So I think that there is men do have more to prove, in my opinion, right?
I agree.
But at the same time, given the beginning of the relationship, men have to prove more, thus they lose more if it don't work out. Now, in my opinion, go ahead.
Explain that.
So, as a woman, you have the liberty to basically tell me at any point that you're no longer interested.
Men
right?
don't have the same?
Yes, we do. But hear me out.
Okay.
Again, that's a comparison. Y'all see how that worked now. Before I ain't even settled my point yet.
Okay.
It was already compared, right?
All
You
right,
just
all
noticed
right,
that.
all right.
No, I'm just kidding. But
Bringing
here's the
it
thing.
down.
So the
To
thing
listen.
is that when you have the liberty, because basically if I'm proven, then you're in a position of sitting back and allowing me to show you what I have to offer. Think about if you're a queen and you're in the palace, right? Guy comes in and he comes in trying to prove his affection to you. That's kind of how women think of it. Hey, I'm a queen.
That's right.
You know, I'm valuable. I know my value. I know my worth. So anybody come into my space, into my life, is going to have to show why I should give them the time, attention, and love, right? So now, with that being said, if I'm in a proven position and you're in okay, let me see if I like this position, then ultimately I have more to lose than you, if you think about it. Because at the end of the day, whether it could be my money wasn't right, or the way I spoke to you was maybe demeaning or disrespectful, or the way I approached you on certain things. Maybe I asked questions too early. It could be anything. It could be maybe you seen my car was dirty, or maybe how I carried myself wasn't the way that you like the man to carry himself.
Right.
No matter what it is, I come in the door having to prove, and you have the ability to say, okay, well, that's good, but unfortunately, it just doesn't meet my standard. So therefore,
we do
opinion,
that. Yes.
Maybe
I will admit.
if you say, hey, later on in the relationship, the woman starts to give more, and oftentimes it happens once she feels he's proven himself, then she'll try to switch on that light switch and throw her game on in.
Right.
But in the beginning of the relationship, a man has more to prove, and I feel he has more to lose. Because if I take you out on a date, let's say we go out on 2-3 dates. That's the average. You'll probably spend at least $20, at least, right?
20 ladies, come on now.
No. Listen. That's on the low end. Let's say if I took you to the beach, $20 might go on my gas. That's just for us getting there and back.
Yes.
Next time I may
take a podcast about that.
Next time I take you out.
This one too.
Next time I take you out, of course, and it's just the fact that overall, I'm just breaking down to an average on the minimum. Because some women will say, hey, you don't got to always take me out to a nice place. Just, come up with something, do something, be insightful, creative. But at the end of the day, even if I got to come pick you up, gas is going in my tank. So therefore, I'm spending something. And then when you say, hey, Clarence, you know what, just right now, we're not clicking, like, we don't really seem to click like that or whatever the case, that money is now wasted.
It's not wasted. It's an investment in what you want.
Right. And ladies want a return on the investment, which is why you feel y'all have more to lose. So therefore, if I'm saying the same as to be said for men, then therefore I am having more to lose, given the fact I didn't get any return on my investment.
I mean, I definitely understand that, though. No, I do. And I think women do understand that. Y'all, what you say in the comments? Go ahead.
Let me see.
And
Risha says, because men feel they have more to prove, often it's not authentic. It's what they think we want or are looking for. No different than women. No different than women. All the time. This is just for, I hope I said Risha, or is it Risha?
Risha, I think.
Risha, the same can be said for women. Okay, it's not the fact that men are only ones thinking that we know what women want. It's the same thing. Y'all believe that if I come in like this, it's a two-way street.
I mean, but again, Clarence. So
go ahead.
Women, you may say that men have more to prove, and I did agree with you about that. But the investment can go the same way. I mean, I don't know if society has stated now that men have to pay for everything up front, and so, you already feel like, you already at a disadvantage because you have to make an investment to date. Why choose to date so many people? Just, kind of stick with one, see how it goes, try to work things out, and then, level off the playing field by not being out there so much. Just go ahead and try to work with this one, and then I feel like you can see if you can get a better return on your investment, men, and feel like you don't have too much to lose. Right.
Now here's the thing. I'm glad you said that because women do this all the time.
Okay.
Ladies, if I'm lying, I'm flying. I need y'all to tell me if this is cash or this is trash.
Y'all talking in the chat. Okay. Now make sure.
If this is cash or if this is trash, I need y'all to let me know. Okay. Now, my partner Natalie was saying, "Hey guys,
trash. I'm about to write it down.
Guys, why don't y'all stop dating so many people? Therefore, you're not wasting or putting out so much resources to where you're in a bad position if it doesn't work out." Now, think about us having that weight of having to pay to date in some way, because you don't want a broke man. A broke man shouldn't be out here, right? If you ain't got your situation right, you shouldn't be dating.
That's what we say.
Right? And at the same time, on the flip side, though, when women have the ability to say, hey, I'm dating, I'm not bound to any man until I decide to be, the nerve of you to say a man should date one person when you as maybe not you personally, but when women in general will state that, hey, listen, don't try to put me in a box. Like, listen, I'm not, you know what? I'm trying to see who fits me best, right? And who I'm most compatible with. And in the same breath, can use that same very breath to say, men, just date one woman, stop dating all these women. Now, when I meet one I like, then I come to find out that she got other guys she's talking to as well. And it's a common case. That's what dating is about, right? Right. So how is it that's what dating is about when we speak women, though?
I was joking, y'all. I was joking.
So here's the thing, right? I I'm going to go into my book right now. This is my book. Come and talk to me. The Women's Guide to Why Men Don't Communicate. I wrote this myself. It's a short read, but it's a good read. And I think that it has some great gems in it. So I'm going to go to one in it, and y'all let me know. And I need y'all to interact with me. Let me know if what I'm saying is cash or trash. Okay, so dating is research. That's a fact. So here's the thing. And I had took out a couple of spots because in my book I wrote these things. And when I go back to them, I still feel them just as true today as they were when I wrote them. All right? So it said, and this is the first chapter, why men hate being vulnerable. Okay. The topic tonight is why women meet a man's representative. And in the early dating stages, men hate being vulnerable. Why is that? I'm going to break it down to you right now. Okay. It said, in the early stages of dating, there is a notion almost all women have that they want for a man to have himself together. Have himself together is in air quotations, okay? Because we know that statement. Have himself together, okay? This puts a tremendous amount of stress on a man from the time he meets a woman. Men know that women perceive a man with flaws and red flags as unfit to date. This man got all these flags, he unfit, okay? When men don't fit the image of perfection when dating, oftentimes they go overlooked and passed up in the dating scene. With this, men feel the need to hide and withhold any information that will make himself appear not quote-unquote altogether or quote-unquote unfit to date. Okay, now I'm going to read on a little bit, but I just want to leave that little seed right there. Everything starts with a seed.
That's true. And
so,
y'all agree with Coach.
So, when it
help
comes,
is here, y'all.
Help's on the way.
I'm here for the help. Singles, we here for the help, right? We're trying to get help. We're trying to be whole. We're trying to be in relationships.
And most definitely, listen. This is in my book, so you'll be able to find that in my book in the first chapter. Again, there's some other stuff as well. How to disarm a defensive man. Why men don't show emotions for different stages of your relationship and different reasons why men shut down. It kind of breaks that down. All right. Okay. So like I asked, the question at the beginning is, who has the most approval in the beginning of a relationship? The way that I perceive it is because of a man's expectation to have himself together. Yes, he needs to come in the door making himself look as whole as possible. And I think sometimes women, even though they have their own little things going on, it's still a double standard to say, hey, well, even though I have such and such going on, don't judge me.
Right.
I'm getting my stuff together. I ain't had no complaints. And look, don't even worry about all this. Right. All because the expectation isn't for me to have it together. The expectation, man, is for you to have it together. Don't come into my life unless you bring in benefit. I can do bad all by myself. That wasn't a man who came up with that. Love don't pay the bill. That wasn't a man who said I don't know. I don't think that was a man who came up with that phrase.
I mean, but aren't women usually the ones who are trying to get it together and trying to really work on themselves, while men are just saying, hey, I don't know. Is that how it works, Coach?
I think everybody.
Because when I'm dating, I really try to present my best self.
Right.
Now, is it a representative? Usually, because I think men and women bring representatives to the table.
That's your best self.
Now, y'all. Everybody, trying to dress up the package. Women wear makeup and nails and lashes because we're trying to portray an image that we think you all will approve of. So I think we all do it, but...
See, you just said it, and that was just back to Risha's point. As you, as a woman, just said, we're trying to present an image that we think men would want. And in her comment earlier said that because men feel they have more to prove, often it's not authentic. It's what they think we want and are looking for. And I said it's the same thing with women, to which you just validated by saying that as a woman, when you speak for women, you're saying women are trying to present an image that they think men want. This is no different, right? So we got some more comments coming in, man. Y'all locked in with us tonight, man. We appreciate that. So let me make sure I show love to Stan Grant through Facebook.
Hey, Stan.
He says, well, answer this. How can a man that is ready and have his life together compete with women's idea of what man should be in their opinion instead of allowing that man to show her whole man can be, how man can be? I believe that's what he's trying to say. So
say it again.
Well, answer this. He says, how can a man that is ready and have himself together compete with a woman's idea of what a man should be in their opinion, instead of allowing that man to show her how a man can be? Okay. So
I agree. You're talking about what is versus perception or expectation.
right.
And I think we don't take a lot of time to talk about relationship expectations in the dating stage.
Right.
I
And
think we jump into a lot of things ahead of time, and we don't clear or cover a lot of foundation that should be covered in relationships.
Right. Because I think we all, both men and women, we have an expectation, and we have a notion that we believe you are going to fit before we meet you. And this is why in the 4th chapter of my book, it's titled Expectations versus Reality.
Come on now.
So we coming on with it. Now, this is not, I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
To the coach tonight.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn. What I am trying to do is try to say that, hey, I have some solutions that I think that will help you. I always say that I'm not giving relationship advice. I'm just giving relationship insight. Because it's different. I mean, everybody's going to be able to take the fish and throw away whatever bones they feel they need to throw away.
Right.
So it's up to me, I feel like, as a coach, to just present a fish and say, hey, take from it what you need, and whatever else is you can cast that to the side. So expectations is reality. Expectations and reality is a chapter in my book, because I know when it comes to dating and communication and being on one accord, there's going to be a battle between your expectations, my expectations, and the reality of what we have and trying to build from that. Right? So here's the thing. The next thing I wanted to ask you is, what's something
in a relationship war?
Yes, facts. It is what it is. If we can get around that, everything will be much better.
I'm telling you.
So what's something that you can say you might have cut a man off for back in the day? As you look back, you can say, man, it really wasn't that bad. But at the time, you might have thought, like, you know what? Tough. Think about it. Can you think of anything that you might have said, you know what, back then I might have let one loose because I just felt a way about it.
You know what, Clarence? I really thought about this question for a while, because I was like, everything I done cut off a man for is because he needed to be cut out.
Okay.
Come on now. But as I look back, I recognize that I have cut off some men too early in the game because he was dating other women during the dating stage.
Right.
And during the dating stage, you're getting to know people.
Right.
And you're not really exclusive. And so I think as I get older, I realize that we're all out here doing the same thing.
Right.
We're getting to know each other. We're trying to, find the best partner for ourselves. And sometimes that's going to cause for, and I think sometimes we jump the gun. We make an assumption that we're in a level of exclusivity that we're not, that we haven't communicated about.
Right.
And so for me, it has been, I was like, well, go on then, just go ahead. And if I'm not going to be the one, I don't borrow, I don't beg, I don't share. That's
right.
the thing, y'all. You don't hear me say that a lot. I don't beg, I don't borrow. But I have realized now, though, but if we're in the dating stage and we haven't communicated that we're exclusive, then it's okay.
Right.
So.
And then what's crazy is that I've done that same thing as a man, and I know that may be hard to understand. But to me, because I had so much to prove, and because I felt like if I'm not getting a return on what I'm investing into you, then I'm not going to just keep pouring into something that's an empty well. That's just a bottomless pit. Right. I'm not going to do this. This is not Sparta. You aren't going to kick me down the bottom of the hole. No, listen, I need to find a way out.
All right.
So
before I put too much in.
Right, and that was the thing. And it's funny that when it comes to relationships, that's one thing that when it comes to where we are, we oftentimes find distance, because what we think we are and the other person is feeling sometimes is not on that same wavelength, and that's offensive to us. That's hurtful to us, because you might feel like, hey, listen, I'm doing all I can with the intent to move toward this destination, and I thought that you were doing the same.
Yeah.
And so, but here's the thing. You know what? I don't know. I always feel like if that person isn't trying to move in the same direction with you, in the same pace as you, then it may not be something that's worth holding on to. Now, I'm not saying that, if a person, because like you said, we dating until we make a commitment to each other, then we're dating. But at the same time, as a man, I'm like, listen, I can't be spending $30, $50, a week on this, and then putting money in my tank, and then all of this, and then you talking about some, woman. You know what, I'm still out here like, listen, you know what, we cool, we friends, we friends.
That's all?
Oh, all right, well.
You know what, I
You know
think
what I'm
we
saying?
need to write a book, or maybe the book just hasn't been written or read on the rules of war, just the levels of engagement that needs to come, while we're in this segment. Shameless plug, if you did not watch it, June 13th, go back and watch, y'all. All male review, what men are saying, what women aren't hearing yet. Shameless plug, it's out there. Our guest was relationship coach Clarence Brown. I think at that moment, I was taking notes, y'all. The men were talking, but I was taking notes. It was a great point that was made that when we are in this setting, you're trying to figure out if they are meeting your expectations. I don't think we always do a great job of clarifying the expectations and then agreeing, okay, I may say, I expect Clarence to be this tall, but if Clarence is not that tall, are we going to try to work through that? You know what I mean? So I think, though, but when we get to this point that we're in this relationship stage and it doesn't work out, it's okay. I think we come away with hurt feelings, but this is the stage to figure out whether it's okay or not.
Right.
Before we've made any commitments and anything. And so I think y'all got to work on that as far as when we're dating, it's okay to have these expectations, but if you don't communicate them and they're not agreed upon, is that fair? Is that right?
Not. Absolutely. Absolutely not. But the thing is that I think we don't give context to our expectations. So think about it, right? My wife, when I was dating her, we were dating, she always felt like she wants me to show that I'm willing to protect her, right? Now, we lived in a gated community at one point, and our door was like, I could count 11 steps from the car, you at the door, right? You literally at the door with 11 steps. But if it was late at night and she was coming home, she would call me in order for me to wake up and watch her come into the house.
Right. Had the door open, turn the light on.
Right, or something. So
see,
in my
women
mind,
know these things innately.
In my mind, I know it, but in my mind, I'm like, come on now. Like, it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and you talking about wake up just to watch you walk 11 steps?
Yes, baby, yes.
Right, but here's the thing.
Unrealistic.
I was battling that. I was fighting and combating that until she gave me context behind her expectations. So it wasn't just get up. Yeah, Negro, it's 12:30. Still get up. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock. Get up. And it's like, for what?
Right.
Now, when she explained to me, she said, "Hey, well, I want to feel protected.
Right.
And for anybody that I'm in a relationship with, I want to know that they're willing to protect me. Right. Now, that meant to me because that was challenging my masculinity and my willingness to protect those that I love. So for me, I had to now accept the fact that this is how she wanted to be protected, right? Now, it could be different things. That's just one personal story time of mine.
I like it.
That, you know what I mean? That it just showed me, like, hey, once you give the context, and I think sometimes ladies be like, hey, well, I really wanted that text, good morning, right? You were doing that, right?
I like it. That
you
was
know what I mean?
context.
It used to be like, women would say, hey, well, I want that phone call when I leave you to make sure I got home safe, right? Now, these are things that maybe she expects a man to do because maybe that's something she saw. Maybe her dad did that with her mom, whatever the case is.
And I liked it.
And exactly. And that was her image of what love is and commitment is. But to that man, his experiences are different, so he don't know that.
Different.
But if she would have say, hey, I like the text good night, or I like the hey, did you get home safe? Are you home? Are you like, because now that makes me feel like I have somebody that cares, right? I mean, and again, not everybody is going to accept that. Not everybody going to do it, but that allows you to at least be able to understand how compatible you are with a person, because now they can be able to say, oh, hey, listen, I know sometimes I may do this, but I'm going to try to work on it.
And will they make the adjustment, right? Are they going to listen?
Let me see. Stan Grant, man, my boy out here showing love. Stan, we appreciate you. And Reese, y'all showing love tonight.
Yay.
Now, one of your comments, Stan, is mad long, so I'm going to read the short one.
Hey, Stan like this. He said he got a lot to say up in here.
All right, so he said, I agree with Reese. Relationships is research, and when doing research, you are seeking facts. Therefore, you can't allow emotions to lead you too fast. Check your feelings and continue your research, then make your decisions on facts, not feelings. Boy, Grant, you showing up tonight. Boy, I tell you, boy.
It's a good man out there, y'all.
Yes, indeed. Natalie Willis Brown.
Hey, Nat.
She says communication. Communication, facts. So, moving right along. So, the question we just talked about was, what's something that you cut a person off for back in the day? Natalie said, hey, guy was dating multiple people. She wasn't with it. She wasn't trying to be a toss-up piece of dice thrown around, and then if she don't hit 7-Eleven, she hit Snake Eyes, it's a wrap. No. She want to make sure that she's the only person at the time. But in this day and age, you know that most times you meet somebody, they have other people that they may have been talking to or may not be serious. And sometimes it is serious. That's why some people be like, man, hold up now. You whole married out here.
Right.
Right?
A whole married man. That's a whole nother show, Clarence.
But hold on now. There's another story time. I remember now, it was back in the day, back in, I don't know, 92, no, it wasn't 92. It was like 2010, whatever, right? So I'm out in the park, with my partners, we at the club. I seen this nice little lady on the side. I say, hey, you know, what's going on? Let me talk to you. She said, oh, no, I got a man. I say, well, I ain't trying to talk to your man. I'm trying to talk to you. And then I say, hey, man, just take my number down and call me when you ain't around him. And what she did, she took my number down.
Absolutely.
So, whole in a relationship, don't act like it's just us out here.
You're right.
You approach one of the right.
The shoe can be worn on both foots.
Exactly. Listen, man. Hey, some of y'all trifling out here.
Oh, absolutely. Trifling has no bias.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? What do women prioritize more nowadays when dating? I'm asking y'all too, Facebook, everybody that's out there, YouTube right now. I need to know, because we having this conversation, but we having this conversation. This is the group conversation.
Absolutely.
All right. What do women prioritize more nowadays? Is it A? You can use my dry erase board. Is it A? Who a man is and his character. What do they prioritize more nowadays? I already know what you're gonna write because you're lying, but you biased. All right. But I need my folk out there on Facebook showing love. Risha, Stan. Who else was out here? Natalie. All right. So here go the thing. Is it A, a man's character and who he is, or B, what he brings to the table? What women prioritize him more nowadays? There's only two answers you can choose. I ain't gonna look.
Okay,
let me see what you
know what women think or what do I think?
Give me both.
I don't know that I represent all women.
You represent them tonight?
Okay, I'm the representative of women. All right, y'all, back me up. I will say, Clarence, that women are usually I gotta write it down.
They saying A in the back. See, I knew you listen. Y'all biases. I don't know what.
What y'all saying? What y'all saying? That's what most women, I think. Even if they're not going to be honest tonight.
Talking about A. Risha talking about A.
Because in our minds, we have this list. So we already, especially y'all, if you're getting like us, you over 40, you throwing, you really knocking on the door 50 and beyond, you got this list. Because we ready to connect. We ready to, get booed up. So we got this list. So we're like, okay, so I'm quickly assessing if you got these things on the table. If you don't have them, then I'm out. But I personally think that A and B, can I mesh A and B?
No. I'm glad you asked. No is the answer. No, you can't mesh A and B.
Because
my answer is C, both.
A part of what is on the table has to be your character. And it has to be decent. I mean, I don't know. Everybody out there don't want a decent man.
Right.
We learned about that too, y'all, on this all-male review. June 13th, shameless plug. Go back and check it out.
Yes, indeed.
Because they say a lot of women these days, they don't mind sharing. I done seen TikToks about it. I don't know where y'all coming from with all this stuff. But, they say, who you think you are to think that you get a whole man these days. I don't know about this, y'all, but I seen it. I'm on TikTok, right?
Right.
So maybe everybody not worrying about character. They just like, if he got enough, if he can pay her bills and my bills, if he can pay all our bills, hey, I don't mind sharing.
Listen, well, I did a topic on the numbers game, and again, you got to think, even though women don't like that, I ain't saying it's right, wrong. I'm just saying the numbers say that if every woman gets married to every man, like not eligible, I'm just saying if every woman just pick a man and say, here, come on, you my husband, right? There'll still be 2 million women left.
I watched that show, y'all. I watched it. I remember that number. I've been telling people about that.
So
it's kind of discouraging.
It is. But again, I don't know. Just women seem to just be born more often. I don't know why is that genetically.
In the earth.
Yeah, so that you need more women to be able to procreate.
What is the answer for that, Clarence? I mean,
the answer is if
I ain't sharing.
The answer is that, listen, you're just going to have to do more to get more of what you want. because it is more competitive. So if it is more competitive, it can't just be all about, again, I'm at this stage in my life, so I posted this a couple weeks back, and it got a lot of people, you know, it kind of ruffled a lot of feathers.
That's all right.
And I said that when a man gets older, he becomes more attractive, and when a woman gets older, she becomes less attractive.
Come on, it's the truth.
Now, the context behind that is not because y'all that black don't crack and that your beauty isn't there, but it's just the fact that from what women want out of men, stability,
Yes.
You know, having himself together, being able to articulate himself, being more considerate and more wise, that's going to come in a man's older years. Now, but what a man wants from a woman, cooperation, wants her to be, you know, in a fit state physically, want her to look her best, and most of that is going to come in her younger years. So it's no offense to women to say, hey, y'all ain't SHIT when y'all hit past a certain age. All I'm saying is that because of what the opposite sex wants from you, it becomes, and again, if you are at a certain age beyond 40 or 35, your list is more important. So because of your experiences, you're going to say, I'm sticking to this list. If you ain't fitting to this list, which means you, unfortunately, are more set in your list or set in your ways. So you may have your ways.
More than likely, maybe without a man.
Right. And again, because of the fact that, my experiences tell me I shouldn't bend in a way I did before. And men are saying it wasn't the fact that you bend, it's because you didn't assess and do your research on that guy enough to know who you had. So now every other guy has to pay the price of the fact that you didn't do your research and that guy hurt you. That guy betrayed you. He stabbed you in the back, did you wrong. And now it's like, you know what? All of y'all like this. Now, when men do that, we get castigated for it. So Willie Thomas say his character is who he is for sure. That is who he is, but what do women prioritize more?
Right.
And Natalie says C, she want both. Risha said as a 40-year-old woman, it's A, like I said, right? What a man brings to the table, sorry, signed off. And again, that's the fact. Ladies, I'm sorry. You can't tell me that as you get older, you don't stick more to your list and you feel for good reason. And because of that, you in your mind, you want that guy's character, but that's after, in my opinion, he's shown and proven what he can bring to the table. So for a woman who's older, go ahead.
I feel like that's part of the table, but I'm just saying.
What's part of the table?
The character. I feel like that's on my list, if you will. You know, that, you know, because as you get older, you're tired of watching the player. You're tired of trying to figure out the game. You know what I mean? You want just a man that is upstanding. Well, I don't know. Like I said, because I've talked to women, you know, like they say, they don't mind sharing all that kind of stuff. But Natalie, let me just speak for Natalie right now. Natalie Nicole, I prefer that, you know, the character, because character, I think, drives everything else. I find if I can find a man who has, you know, great character, upstanding, knows his value and his worth, he's actually going to have a lot of those things that we feel like are on the list or at the table that I may need. I really feel like they go hand in hand.
Okay. And I disagree. I disagree. And that's good, though, because I don't want for this show to be all about all one-sided.
It doesn't have to be.
And there's some people that will agree with it.
To listen to
if y'all agree with Natalie.
He's the relationship specialist, y'all. Keep that in mind. I'm single. He married, okay?
So here's the thing, right? I'm asking a question. Can a broke man with character date? Okay. Now, Natalie says that his character is what, you know, is part of the table. It's part of his package. If he has good character, strong character, then other things will align. So that reminds me of Martin and Boomerang. We say when the coochie is good, everything just falls into place. Right? Didn't that sound foolish when he said it? And it had me rolling in the stuff.
Yeah, but see, coochie and character, you know.
Right. But here's the thing. When women say, hey, if you ain't got your chips right, if you don't have your life together, then you shouldn't be out here dating. This is why I understood my value when it came to how I dated women, when it wasn't just, hey, come over Netflix and chill, come over and let's cuddle, and then I try to do some things and see how far I can get. No, I'm going to treat you in a respectful way. I'm going to take you out. I'm going to show you a nice time. But I recognize if I'm doing that, then I can't do that for somebody who's not trying to move in the same direction as me. Right? So
do you assess that before you take them on a date?
No, it's
or you do that while dating?
I do that while dating. Okay. Because the way I went into it, because the way I was brought up, hey, this is the way that you do show a woman that you have interest in her. So it's different for every man, but that was for me. Now, I knew that if I was broke, I can't leverage nothing.
Right.
I can't say too much. So with what you're saying, character is great, but it's all coming behind what he brings to the table. Because if he's bringing your life down, but he's a great character guy, you still, women will listen. You know what? You're a good guy. Hey, you're nice. You know what? Man of God. All that is great. Good. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
And so that's why I said that I asked the question in such a way to where it's like you have to choose.
Well, define bringing me down. You know what I mean? Because if his character is decent, shouldn't he be upholding me?
Think about it. That's a great question. So think about it.
What exactly are we talking about? You know,
okay, I'll give you a perfect.
As far as character, what are we talking about, really?
So if I'm a great character guy, but right now I'm Ubering.
Right.
Not making a whole lot of money. Some guys do now. Don't get me wrong. I'm just throwing this out there as a hypothetical, right? Stay with me, okay? If I'm bringing in, $200, $300, $400 a week, and that's not real grown-up money, you know what I'm saying? Then it doesn't matter that I have a great spirit about myself.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And all it is, because over time, over the span of a week or month, as you said, you quickly are assessing. I'm using your words. So since their assessment comes swift and heavy-handed, then of course, even if he has good character, he's more likely to be moved aside for somebody who's able to not only have character, but first is going to bring improvement to a woman's life. That is one of the number one reasons a man is here is to, when it comes to relationships, women are saying, hey, if you want to come into my space, this first world country made it to where we all are able to be independent, women included. So a woman is saying, hey, come into my space, you need to bring some level of benefit. Don't interrupt me from my drink and I'm hanging out with my girls and we having a good time and we're listening to Beyonce and half twerking or whatever. Don't come over here with all of that if you're not coming to bring some type of benefit. And a broke man with character, listen, women all day, I'm like, hey man, that's good. But he's a good man. I ain't gonna lie, he good, but he just.
I mean, but look at all the men who have money but no character.
That's true. And still are getting women throwing themselves at him.
Older, y'all, if he can bring his change and they can put his change with my change and we can make it work, we might need to work on that.
Right. Notice
because
that.
If
hold
whining
up.
and dining me and then her and then everybody else, because that's what you bring to the table. If that's what we're looking with, but you pimping, you know what I mean? Pimping ain't easy.
Right.
Where does that leave me as a woman? Still in the same place.
Right. But you didn't say if he put his character with my character. Did you say that?
No, I didn't.
I heard somebody, if you put his change with my change. Now, change is a form of currency.
Yes.
U.S. currency, American dollar billage. It might not fold, but it jingle. Remember, it was coming to America. We like the kind of currency that folds, not jingles. Right. But again, coins is currency. That's a form of financial resource.
You got me, y'all. That Clarence, he's a good listener. Y'all picking that up.
So if again.
Okay, but if we put our character together, but that's what I said before. I said if he come into the table with good character, I believe all those other things will fall in line.
All right, and just like the men say, the coochie is good, everything else gonna just fall in line. No, it don't do it. It don't happen.
What y'all saying? Clarence got me in the hot seat. What y'all saying?
So let me read some of these comments. We're gonna move on to some of these other questions, man. I appreciate y'all locking in with us tonight. So Stan says exactly. Risha says okay, but she says A. Natalie Willis Brown, nope, not sharing. Come on now. I don't know if you mean you're not sharing the post.
No sharing, no borrowing, no begging.
Oh, she's not sharing her man, right? I got you. No doubt.
Clarify that if that's not what you're talking about.
I think that's what she means. Risha says, you learn with maturity that lists change. My younger years, I thought I wanted a shark, but now I meet a dolphin, and I might see I don't like sharks after all. My dolphins are more than enough. And that is how things happen.
Dolphins are loyal, ain't they?
That's true.
I'm just trying to.
And so in a shark of Egypt, when you least expect it, right? So yes, in this dating space, character is great, but overall, when you wrote down, say for most women, you said B, right? Not A. His character is the most prioritized, but what he brings to the table is like that's his entry fee.
Right.
You talking about that? You only enter it's $20 at the door. You either got it or you don't. Okay, you got your ID, you left it in the car, you can't get in. I'm sorry, ain't nothing I can do. Right. So for women, it's that what you bring to the table is your entry fee, and once you get in, then he love kids.
Right.
Listen, he's so sweet. Look how he loves his mama.
Tell the truth.
And
He's like,
so
he got that kind of car. Ooh.
Right.
Oh, he worked there. Oh, okay. You right.
You know, it's a company car, girl. Like, listen. Hey, come on now. We out here making with 2021 out here, right? So that's what it is. And I just wanted to ask that. And like I say, everybody out there watching, man, showing love and support. These questions are asked to you because we want to provoke thought here in this platform. And what I try to do, like I say, is bridge the gap of communication and understanding. And overall, help you just improve your dating experiences. So if y'all want to go grab this book, man, y'all can stop by my website, relationshiphealing.co. It's Come and Talk to Me, the women's guide to why men don't communicate. And again, I just wanted to read, I read a quick snippet in the book on the first chapter, Why Men Hate Being Vulnerable, because it really explains what men are going through when it comes to the early dating stage. So does the desire for a ready-made man make it harder for women to find a guy, Natalie? How do you feel about that? The desire for that ready-made man, does that desire make it harder for women to find that guy?
I think it does, but I think it's an unrealistic expectation.
Why do you say that? You know I'm listening now. I'm a good listener.
I know you are, so we about to break this down. And I think we may, y'all, just for clarity and everybody listening, just to make sure I answer the question correctly, can you define a ready-made man?
As I said earlier, in the book, the ready-made man is the man who, quote-unquote, has himself together. Now, having himself together, the reason why, because it's a generalized phrase, but the reason why I add it like that, because it's different. Now you can shift the goalpost to fit whatever your expectations are to say himself together, right? Some women may say, hey, he might have the money, but if his character ain't right, he ain't got himself together. If he's spiritually out of line, or he just feels like, he's just lost in the world, woman might say that, I don't think he got himself together. He can't lead my family with, I don't know where he knew his perspective and all of this, right? And so it's different for everybody. But let me read on. I just want to read this next little paragraph, and I'm going to be done with this book. Y'all go grab that, please. Relationshiphealing.co, not .com. Chop that M off. Relationshiphealing.co. And grab your shirts. Y'all be your walking billboard. Melanated and loving it. Got these in different colors, not just black. So, ladies, y'all can get y'all a nice little color for the summer. Let them know that you are melanated and you love your skin. Celebrate the skin you in, ladies. All right, so women normally don't have to deal with the pressure of opening up early in the relationship. Being the person pursued allows women to date and not feel obligated to share any personal information of flaws and weaknesses early in a relationship unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me know when I'm lying. Okay. A woman in most cases is able to observe and make an assessment of her prospective man without showing much of herself and what makes her who she is. This is one of the reasons why men aren't open about who they are and what life experiences have made them the man they are currently. When dating, a man feels that fitting into the image of perfection is extremely important to have a good chance at gaining the affection of women he's pursuing. If he reveals himself too soon as weak or not, quote unquote, altogether in any area early on, the woman he's pursuing can categorize his flaws as red flags. These red flags are the sign to a woman that a man may become a burden on her and that he may not be a man worthy of a lasting relationship. Because of this, a man feels she will potentially cease to date him. This is why when meeting someone, it is perceived as meeting the representative and not the real person. You're essentially meeting the person's image of perfection, which is not the person who the person truly is. The end. Now, if I said anything that didn't make sense to y'all, or if it wasn't aligned with how you feel, hit that comment section because I really want to chop it up, right? Risha says, great book. I appreciate it, Risha. I think that's, I made sure I sent one out to you. You won the contest on the...
Risha was our contest winner, yes.
Most definitely.
And Successful but Single community, we are looking at doing a book club. Come and talk to me, right, y'all? Because it's not just about sharing successful stories, which we do every Friday. Check us out. Successful but Single podcast, doing our thing without a ring. But we are trying to build healthy communication and healthy relationships. This is not just for women, the Successful but Single podcast. This is for unmarried individuals. And that's why we partner with people like Coach Clarence, because we do want to gain some understanding, but not just understanding. We want to move to the next level of healing and then being able to come back, create great relationships, and then healthy families. So
Most definitely, and that healing is what we need, and that's why, like I said, the things that I try to present is from a solution mindset. I really see what's going on out here, and my mind is always swirling and circling around how we can create a solution. And so Stan Grant says, well, that answered my thoughts. I appreciate that, Stan, and I'm gonna still read your comment real quick. And he says, so Natalie, if a man has a character and he does not have the financial aspect yet, are you willing to help him grow to the level that you wish or desire for you to help him grow in that area? And for how do you wait?
See, that's a good question. I mean, and I think that's where I was going with my answer regarding the ready-made man. We all say yes. He got to be ready. He got to be able to pay my bills, pay his bills, take care of my kids, work that job, come home, massage my back, bring in the groceries, all of that. But honestly, as I get older, I'm finding every man I date is different. So what does ready-made really mean? You know what I mean? Are we going to be willing to adjust to each other where we are right now? Or am I just going to say, nope, he doesn't have that? Men are telling me all the time, Natalie, with this list of 12 things, what if brother got 9? A 9 solid. Right. You just going to throw him out the door? And I've been taking time to really consider that. Because I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm close to it. I know. But are you going to be willing to work with me? And should I be willing to work with you? And the answer should be yes. If I do see 9 out of 12, I think. Right. But we're having a hard time, y'all. We're steadfast on this list. God say I can have what I want. I need to just pray about it, name it and claim it, and boom, God's gonna give it to me just like that. Well, what happens if God gives us a man who has the 9, and through your relationship with him, he builds to the 12 or the 15 or the 50?
Right.
Right. We get, boy. We got 50 on the list.
Speak on it.
So I'm finding though, Clarence, it's not just women. It's not just women who are willing to let go for that. Somebody can come to me like, oh, Natalie, you too insecure, then I'm out. But I've been there for you. I helped you get through school. You know what I mean? I helped watch your kids. You know what I mean? So you're not going to help me work through my insecurities? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, Clarence, I'm just saying, you know what I mean, y'all? We got to be willing to help mold and massage. I don't think we're all going to be ready already.
So I say to myself, are women going to accept a man who hasn't become ready-made? Are women going to be willing to grow with a man and do the things that she feels like he needs, as well as trying to make sure that he fits a certain amount on the list or a certain amount of things, criteria on the list? My answer is not many.
I agree.
Not many.
Which is why we have so many singles or so many people that get married that aren't married today. Okay, let me ask you a question. This little science project.
Let's go ahead.
Okay, he's a professional. I'm just here, doing my thing. Whatever. But how long have you been married, Clarence?
Let me see. 2012. That's 9 years.
Okay. Are you the same man that you were 9 years ago?
Absolutely not.
Did you have to make some adjustments in your walk with your wife?
No question about it.
Did she have to make some adjustments?
Absolutely.
So y'all, what's our problem out here? Why are we single? Because we're not willing to make these adjustments.
And it's funny because
boom, y'all cash out.
That's a what's your cash out? Let them know. So absolutely, and that you know what, that point is a great point, because oftentimes me and my wife, we credit each other based upon how much we've grown being together. Yeah. So my wife will say, hey, I've learned so much from you, and this and that. But the reason why that is because throughout all the disagreements and, different arguments or differences of opinion and understanding, at the base of all that, the foundation was that we want for us to work out. Okay. So
at the end of the day,
that's the thing. So when you have somebody that may not have it all together, but yet is fighting to work it out with you, that's the part that you can't quantify. You can't say that I can put a dollar value on this, because I always say, hey, what that man brings to the table ain't gonna matter if something you fall, almost fatally ill, or you in a bad state, you in the hospital. You're not gonna want for him to rub a $20 bill on you. No, you're not gonna want that. That ain't gonna help nothing.
Right.
What you're gonna want is for him to console you, help you, encourage you, motivate you, keep your mind off of certain things and in a positive state. That's invaluable in itself.
It is.
So this is why I ask questions like, hey, what's more prioritized? Is it his character? Is it who he is? Or is it what he's bringing to the table? Because we know majority are going to say, hey, if you ain't got nothing you bring to the table, it's not many that's going to care about your character or care about the man that you are. And then vice versa. If a man say, hey, you got an attitude, you're unwilling to bend, you're unwilling to mold or accept who I am and trying to grow to the man that you want me to be, and if I got a solid 9 out of your 12, you still like, listen, hey, you know what?
Right.
That is going to make it hard. That's why I do think with the question of, does the desire for a ready-made man make it harder for women to find a guy? And the reason why that is because there aren't women that are ready to mold behind that mindset. So it's like you want a man who's ready-made, and a man wants a woman who's ready to mold, which is why I said those younger women seem to get more of the lion's share of a guy, even as he's older. You know, so if you're 35, 40, whatever the case may be, and you say, hey, I want a man who's at my age and at my same level, not bring me down. A younger guy might not have it together, so I need somebody in my age bracket. But that same guy is saying, well, unfortunately, you're not giving me what I want because you're not ready to mold.
Right.
And that younger girl that you calling her a slave, and you saying, oh, she just gonna submit. You just gonna have her doing whatever. She gonna be, butt naked and pregnant and all of that. Like,
right.
No, she's ready to mold, which is what as a man I need. And you want me to be ready made without you even being in that state of mind. Yeah. So let me see. And we wrapping it right on up, y'all. We appreciate y'all tonight. I got 2 more questions, but before that, I'm gonna read some of these comments because y'all making sure y'all showing love. So Stan says, "Star my voice to text, bubble up my words." Oh, no problem. So let me see. Jocelyn Peter says, "Call me, pick me, but I need him to have it mostly together. But I agree we can't accept it all. To Natalie's point, we have to determine which 9 checkpoints are non-negotiable as a starting point." And that's good. Know that. And also add your context. Whatever your context is, your reasoning. Sometimes we don't know what our definition of love is. We can just say, hey, I want it like this. My mama did it like this. My dad did. But now add some reason, some context. And
are men open to that, Clarence?
I think we're more open to it because we think so logically that sometimes when you come at us and it seems emotional, we're looking at it like, well, where's the understanding? How can I understand your feelings when your feelings are your own and different from every woman? And you said, hey, every guy you've dated is different. So in order for us to come to understanding, like I said, trying to bridge that gap of communication, understanding, first comes the communication and the context within that communication that brings more understanding to a man that logically my mind says, I need to understand why. So if your feelings is just because I like it like that, just because I just feel like doesn't bring an understanding because my logic doesn't give me a why, right? And as one of the people said, that it changes. But even as it changes, you can tell me, well, it's changed now because I think about this, and now that this has happened, it's changed my perspective. So now, yes, I wanted it this way back a few years ago when we was dating, but now we're married, and I feel differently because. Stan Grant says, yes, I think they would if he is willing to if he is feeling a particular area of need and want in her life. However, I do agree that a man has to be striving for a successful future for both of them. Agreed. So, second to the last question is this, Natalie. Are women willing to go to their representative, are women willing to let go of their representative in order to incentivize men to let go of theirs? I ain't gonna look. But I do want to know, Facebook.
Yeah, what y'all got?
Y'all let us know. Are women? Stan, let us know. Are women? Risha, let me see who else out here. Jocelyn. I think I saw Carolyn. Are women willing to go or let go of their representative in order to incentivize men to let go of their representative? No. Absolutely not. Is she right, y'all? Natalie, go ahead. Expound on your point.
Yeah, y'all throw some comments in the chat. Thank you all for watching and listening, and most importantly, for chopping it up with us. believe we want to have incentive for men to lose their representatives. But I don't think that men or women think having a representative is a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I think bringing this person to the table works for everybody. It doesn't work because we know it doesn't work. But I still feel like we can't shake it. Like, this is the best way that I know how to do this. I'm just going to bring what we need because, again, men are scared to be vulnerable in the beginning. Women, you know, we come with this package that we feel like he's going to accept. So that those are all just crazy names for representatives. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we're willing to let those go, even if we feel like this may incentivize the man or the woman to let go of that representative. Because in our mind, it's a protective measure. Mm-hmm. I think on both sides. I think we're going to do what we can to protect ourselves to see, you know, what they gonna do. You know, what are they gonna do? You know, is he really gonna take me out on this date? You know, where is he gonna go? You know, is she really gonna, you know, show me a little bit of cleavage? You know, that first night. You know, everybody trying to figure out what the other person is gonna do and what they're willing to accept or how far they're willing to go. So I think the representative is always gonna come first.
That's true. That's true. But that's because we expect for the other person to put their best foot forward and present the best version of themselves. Imagine if it was a first date and a man came in basketball shorts and just a t-shirt and maybe some slides. Right. Now, maybe that's just like how he liked to be comfortable. So he say, hey, listen, if I'm going to come out here, I'm going to be myself and she's going to have to accept who I am. Right. You're going to be like, come on, bro. Right. You could at least show me. And even if he 90% of the time is dressed in a fashion where it's more relaxed, you want him to say, hey, care enough.
Unless we was going to shoot some hoops on the first date. I mean, you know.
You see what I'm saying?
He can't do that slide.
So, but that representative is going to be there because there is an expectation that, hey, listen, when you come in, at least put your best foot forward, right? And I agree. And reason why earlier I disagree with the women have more to lose part is because if I am, again, in a position where I have to show and prove to you and it don't work out because you have to have the ability to give consent to say, hey, this is worthy, this meets my standard, or it doesn't, then yeah, me opening up to you, which is what, just open up, like you just tell me, like talk to me, like you don't want to tell me, we talk about this and that, but when we get to personal stuff, like you want to talk about, the reason why that is because I'm more likely to lose. I said it in the paragraph. Hey, I may fall into that category of, oh, he ain't got it all together. Look at these red flags. So
but men don't do the same thing. I know. I keep going back to that comparison.
Yes.
But I mean, come on, y'all. I have to.
Right, of course. And that's fine. But again, overall, you know, women say, it's almost like women think that they're going to be the ones in the end to propose to a man.
Well, no, we don't.
The reason why I say that, and I understand that, but the reason why I say that is because if you carry the mindset that, well, you need to show me. Once you show me, then I'll tap my feminine side in, and I'll. Well, listen. If 90% of proposals are happening from men, then why do women carry it like you? I got to show you first. We should go in trying to prove to each other, but yet there's an innate mentality in women nowadays that says, I don't need you, so if you're going to come over, but then at the end of the day, when you know, once the brunch is over and the mimosas done worn off, now you back at the house, your homegirl's at their place, and now you back just trying to figure out what you going to watch on Netflix and what's out, and you done seen everything, and ain't nothing really driving interest. Now all of a sudden you feel like, you know, and the pandemic showed that. Everybody was like, whatever, you like you put it right? Right. And then everything shut down. It's just like, you know what, it's just, I don't know, sometimes I just feel like, you know, God is it over? Because I don't know, the world gonna shut down, and I just, you know, I ain't got a man, but I'm just saying.
That's all too well, y'all. That's actually how Successful but Single was born. During that pandemic, y'all, I was sitting there alone. I was like, okay, how am I really single? I think I need to figure this thing out. Because, boy, we're going to be up in this house all this time alone. We're going to have to figure something out.
Imagine when you have to sit your independent self down and be independent. All of a sudden, companionship become more valuable to you in a world where...
Say that again, Clarence.
When you have to sit yourself down and be independent as you are, then all of a sudden companionship become more valuable to you. And that's why I said, hey, that same guy in the Uber or in the, you know, UPS truck, and he only making $12 an hour, he dropping off at Amazon and he driving for them, but yet he's a great character guy. And so many women are saying, man, listen, come on, I need a guy that's trading stocks or crypto, or he need to have some properties or something. And it's like, okay, cool, but yet if there's 2 million more women than men fighting for the same type of guy, imagine how much you have to bring to the table as a woman in order to get a guy on that level. And so when a woman said, hey, man, I'm just whatever then it's like, come on now, you got to make a choice. And the Bible say, choose this day. Choose this day whom you will serve. And so many women say, hey, well, I'm just going to do my thing.
Do my thing, then.
We're not meant to be like that.
We're not, y'all. We were made to be in community.
Exactly. So I agree. I don't think women are willing to let go of their representative.
What y'all think?
The representatives that says, hey, no, this ain't my real hair. Yeah, I can pull this off it whenever I feel like it. On demand, I can. And you can, these aren't my real lashes. Yeah, I do have an attitude problem sometimes. If I don't get my way, I get mad. Yeah, I got da-da-da. But yet, those flaws are like, I get to keep them in my Louis bag. Right. But all the while, once you've proven to me who you are, then you get to see all that I have for you. And I have my own set of issues too. So what's the solution, Natalie?
Oh, help us, Clarence Brown. Of course, I'm still single. I don't know that I have the solution. But, again, shameless plug, June 13th, All Male Review. And all the podcasts are good, y'all. Go back and watch them. You can Google them. Like you said, they're on all platforms. But Wendell Berry did say something awesome. Thank you, Wendell. Yeah, I'm about to use your stuff. But I'm going to credit you.
Hey, shout out, man. Shout out to Wendell.
But he was on the All Male Review with us. And I don't know if this is a solution for everyone, but I think something he said was pretty cool, and I don't know where he got it from. Check out his book later. I'm sure one is coming. But he said something so cool. Maybe we should present or take a mindset to have a good faith approach to dating and relationships when you come to the table. Meaning, you don't already come in here with the list or the presuppositions or these expectations that you haven't even communicated or had them agreed upon, about what a relationship is going to be. I come to the relationship saying, hey, I like what I saw in the beginning. Let's see where this goes. Let's give them a chance to present themselves, flaws and all, and see if we can still work it out. But both persons have to be willing to do that. And I thought, man, I never heard that before, but shoot, can we have some kind of platform where we can talk about that? Even if we come to an agreement that, we're relating, we can't be really relatable. We have the chemistry, but we don't really have this compatibility.
Right.
Let's just either go back to being friends or say, hey, this is not for us. And it's nothing wrong with that. That's even a part of the good faith. Right. We're going to come in good faith saying, let's see what happens and really give each other an opportunity to show their authentic self.
That's you said it right.
I thought it was amazing.
Most definitely, and I think that again gives both of us a platform where we feel like there's not so much pressure to show who we really are, because ultimately that's the real reason why some of the things don't actually grow legs and take off, because it's like, well, once I done shown this and I'm testing the waters, I'm putting my toe in the pool and seeing how all of a sudden you flip out, or you like, what? And it's like, ooh, I know not to do that again. I'm collecting data just like you collecting data.
Exactly.
So, I just feel like, guys, tonight, let's just focus on the fact that in the early dating stages, yes, women, you are going to have a man that's going to present the best version of himself. Right. And, yeah, it may be you may say, oh, you fooled me. But can you make it an environment where he feels comfortable letting his load down and putting it aside and not having to wear that mask all the time?
Because in regard her letting her load down, her hair down, being able to put that bonnet on in front of me.
And then take that mask off, all that, maybe y'all putting 2 pounds of foundation and powder.
Hold up. Now that's another show.
I'm just saying.
That's another show.
That's a mask though.
That's another show.
And again, we want to be who we truly are, and be accepted.
Yes.
So the earlier you're able to
on both sides of the coin, men and women.
Yeah, the earlier you're able to do that, the better. And so when you find somebody who's willing to make it work, this is why that's so important. So yes, not everybody gonna be where you want them to be, but if, like Natalie said, he can put his coins with your coins. If you may be on a high economic level,
or character with his character,
exactly, it's gonna work out, because now you have a winning formula. Now you both are saying, hey, I'm open to where this can go, because I recognize the person you are. Baby, I love you. Go. You got it. You doing it. Yeah.
That's right.
Money can't quantify that. But again.
Cannot. And that's what we need to be looking for, y'all.
So we appreciate y'all locked in with us tonight. What I need y'all to do, though, before y'all go, is I need y'all to stop by my website, relationshiphealing.co. Before y'all go and go home and call it a night, stop by relationshiphealing.co. Grab you a melanated and loving it shirt. Celebrate the skin you in. Let them know that you appreciate and you're grateful to be an African American, that you are melanated and you loving it. Also, I have some T-shirts. It's my relationship healing brand. I have a T-shirt I just dropped and say, if you're not healed, don't talk to me.
Hey, I'm getting that one.
If you
need to drop that merch in the podcast group.
Most definitely. If you haven't been healed, don't talk to me, because that's a clear expression. If somebody come in your way with all that toxic energy, you can just feel they finna come with the nonsense. You can see them across the room, closing the gap, closing the distance. You like, oh, here it comes. Just turn to them and show your shirt that says, if you haven't been healed, don't talk to me.
And let it be a good reminder, too, that you want to be healed, too. You may need to have some things that you need to be working on.
Facts.
So wear the shirt.
And I got some shirts for the men or for the young men. If you ladies out there want to grab something for your young men, I have a shirt that says somebody's healed son. Let them know, hey, listen, don't come to my son with that toxic energy. And if you have a young daughter, I have one that says somebody's healed daughter. So these are just some of the things that, like I said, going to help to express what you're all about and your mentality out and about. And you can grab the book, come and talk to me as well. We've got a lot of great things going on at relationshiphealing.co. It's all solution-based to help to encourage you, motivate you, and to heal you and help you move on in a positive direction. Natalie, before we get out of here, you got anything you want to say, or any way that the people can connect with you, if they want to link up with you, if they want to have you on their platforms and whatnot? How can they find you?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you for having me on your platform. Like I said, I'm a fan, so, for a fan to be sitting in this chair says a lot, and I'm excited to be here. Y'all go on there and look at the resources. Singles, we're going to be getting this book. I've gone. He has a lot of resources. That's one thing I love about Clarence Brown. He is very solution-based. So, again, I appreciate all that you're doing, and just thank you for having me on. Hey, you want to have us on your show, me on your show, Successful But Single Podcast at gmail.com. You can contact me there. My Facebook page is Natalie Nicole. We also have a Facebook group, Successful But Single Podcast. So look it up. Join the group. You'll be able to see the past episodes of the podcast there. You'll be able to ask questions, connect with Clarence Brown and other great individuals. So yes, check me out. Would love to be on your show. Would love to share success stories and where we're going and how we're going to be able to come together, heal, to have healthy and whole singles, creating healthy and whole relationships.
Most definitely. And so, again, guys, we appreciate your support. Risha, she says, enjoyed the dialogue. Appreciate that. I'm glad you were involved in the dialogue and joined in via the comments. So I'm going to go back to these comments. And, I'm going to always see how everybody feeling. The ones we weren't able to read, man, we appreciate y'all showing love. And, again, stop by relationshiphealing.co. Check out some of the things we have. If you want to be able to have a coaching session, a one-on-one session with myself, listen, I have 90-minute packages or for single sessions, and if you want to do a month-long package, I have that. You can get 4 sessions for the price of 3. So go ahead and check that out if you want to go ahead and say, hey, most of the time it takes more than one session to deal with especially a serious issue. Okay, because you're not going to just fly by night. You go get this one session and boom, I'm good.
I'm going to have to get on that layaway plan, y'all. I'm going to have to give me some sessions back, I'm trying to get a boot. You know what I'm saying?
But I want to make it affordable for you so that you're able to tap into the resources.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, because I see some of these people made exorbitant prices. I want to make it affordable for you, but you can get that discount. If you do want to grab the month coaching one-on-one package, you can get 4 coaching sessions of 90 minutes for the price of 3. Okay? So, relationshiphealing.co, this right here is the Male Translations Podcast, where we break down the difference of what men say and women hear, give men a voice, give women insight on relationships, the men's voice when it comes to relationships. I'm your host, Mr. Male Translations, Clarence Brown, and I'm out. I'm going to see y'all next week, Tuesday night. Stay locked in until we meet again. Peace. Which is more damaging, ghosting the person or letting them know, hey, listen, you're just not what I'm looking for right now?
Letting them know. So you really done. Like, really.